What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Trailer Park Live here on the 2nd Street Marvel, where we're coming at you live every single Friday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're not on the west coast of the United States, you probably want to check your local listings to make sure that you are here every single Friday night at 8 p.m. Also, the one thing you could do to make that even easier to not have to remind yourself and check your local listings is make sure that you're subscribed and click that little bell so you get notifications anytime that we have uploaded new content. And what that also does is it sends you out a notification anytime that we have planned a live video, and usually about a half hour before it goes live. Now, if this is your first time here on the Trailer Park Live, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have a very special show lined up for you, and in case you are returning, thank you so much once again for being here. As you all know, in case you have been here before, we typically go over some of the comic. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Trailer Park Live here on the 2nd Street Marvel, where we're coming at you live every single Friday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're not on the west coast of the United States, you probably want to check your local listings to make sure that you are here every single Friday night at 8 p.m. Also, the one thing you could do to make that even easier to not have to remind yourself and check your local listings is make sure that you're subscribed and click that little bell so you get notifications anytime that we have uploaded new content. And what that also does is it sends you out a notification anytime that we have planned a live video, and usually about a half hour before it goes live. Now, if this is your first time here on the Trailer Park Live, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have a very special show lined up for you, and in case you are returning, thank you so much once again for being here. As you all know, in case you have been here before, we typically go over some of the comic books that I pulled for the week, and then we get in and talk about some of the latest rumors in music, movies, and TV, and we interact with you all in the comments, and it is always a good time. Every single time that you guys show up, I truly do appreciate you all being here. Over the past couple weeks, it has been building, and it's been getting quite fun in here. Like I said, anytime you guys are here interacting, it is always a great time. You guys are what makes this show so special here on the Trailer Park Live, as this is usually about the only show that I do live every week. Sometimes I do just a few others during the week, but typically those are unplanned. So as always, let's go ahead and get into some of the comic books that I have to talk for the week. So now, in case you guys caught my show here a couple of weeks ago, there was an issue that I was quite dissatisfied with, and this week, if you caught my comic book pull list, I did kind of talk about that, and I did pick up another copy of that same series going on. That was War of the Realms tie-in Giant Man. Now, if you haven't, and this is number 2, if you guys haven't been keeping up with the War of the Realms, it's a kind of an event that's going on in Marvel Comics right now. Basically, Malekith, who is the king of the Dark Elves, has conquered the 9 realms, and now he is on Earth, and he saved Midgard for last. He's kind of gathered some allies along the way to help him come to Midgard and destroy it. And basically now they're all here. They've taken over. They each have like different continents and things that they run. And the world is in pretty much chaos right now, and a lot of the Marvel universe is taking place here in the War of the Realms. Now, there are individual issues of certain characters that aren't happening here at this same time, like there is like the ongoing Amazing Spider-Man and some of these things that are not actually tied into this series, but the character is still here in the series. Hard to explain. I don't really want to get into that. That's not where we're here to get into. If you're here, you probably know a little bit about comic books, and you probably know a little bit about what I'm talking about. But like I was saying, you guys know a couple of weeks ago I was dissatisfied with Giant Man issue number 1, and sometimes, like I said on Wednesday, when you're watching, if you're just seeing something that's so horrific and you're just like you can't take your eyes off of it, is anybody else here, one of those fans of, like Dr. Popper on Facebook and stuff, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, how, you start to see, squeezing out the little bit of stuff, and you're just like, I gotta stay to the end, right? That's exactly what this was. Giant Man War of the Realms issue number 2. I decided to stay around and watch watch the horrific ending on here, just so I could, say that, okay, it wasn't just one issue, wasn't just a one shot, wasn't just a fluke, okay? But I gotta tell you, hey, I was actually I like this issue. They reeled it in. They really did reel it in. Now, the writer of this series is, and these are only 3 issues. I'm not sure if this is going to continue to be an ongoing series afterward, but it's written by Leah Williams. And I gotta say, I actually looked this young lady up to see what her thing was, and apparently she's somewhat newer to the books and hasn't done a whole lot of writing. And actually, I was over at Comic Book University, and I had made a comment on one of Professor Bill's books, or one of his reviews there, and he was actually telling me, yeah, she is kind of newer to writing. It almost seemed a little unfair to toss her in to do something like this just kind of out of the blue. And I get that. And just judging by the first the first issue, I was like, man, I really don't want to pick this up. But like I said, sometimes you got to see something through, like to the horrific end, and that's what I was in for. And I really am kind of glad I bought this. It was not a bad issue. Like I said, they reeled it in here with Giant Man issue number 2, and I do still plan on doing that video on the first one. It's just been a really busy week. I haven't got get a whole lot of videos done this week. Just a whole lot of things going on in my personal life with my business and everything. I've talked about it here on this show and just on other videos in the past, but things are finally getting back to normal, and I will hopefully be able to resume some sort of normal output on some different types of videos, reviews, and things like that. Hopefully getting all my fitness things back in order as well. In case you guys don't know, I'm a cyclist, and I haven't had quite the time that I need to put into that, into these videos, and just everything, just with everything being like utter chaos. So it is nice that things are finally getting back. Things are finally slowing down a little bit, and I can get back to making some of those more well-produced videos. Now, moving on into the next issue I have to talk about today. Now, this issue, I haven't got a chance to read it all yet. I did get a read. I don't know. I made it. I don't know. Maybe about halfway through this issue before I had to get on here and start getting ready for the show. But I gotta tell you, okay, the next issue I have to talk about is Spider-Man. And the League of Realms, the War of the Realms tie-in to the War of the Realms event. This is the tie-in for that. Spider-Man is leading the way, and this is separate from what is going on in the Amazing Spider-Man comic books that Nick Spencer is writing. Totally different thing. Obviously, the same character. Like I said, I'm not sure that I really need to explain it for most of you, but I gotta tell you, okay, exactly what happened in the first Giant Man issue. Like, are they just switching books here? They go from one to the other. Some of the things that were going on in this book, man, like, I'm like, really? Like, one book, you reel it back in, and then the other book, you just, like, let it go. You just, like, you went back downhill. I don't get what's going on. And I'm going to tell you, honestly, straight up, what I think is going on is, we hear a lot of those things out there, people talking about crazy comics gators and all that stuff, okay? Now, the thing, I don't know a whole lot about the comics gate or anything like that, but to the best of my knowledge, what I have gathered is that some people are discontent with the, not necessarily social commentary going on in comic books, but the mere fact that people are pushing social agendas in these comic books. And I'm not saying that that's exactly what's going on here in this book, but there are some things in this book that they're just, it's lazy storytelling, it's lazy writing. And you know what, I get it. I'm not, like I said, and I don't mean to call people who are, on the Comicsgate side of things crazy, because they're not crazy, okay? They're not crazy. Maybe if you're one of those people that feels that they're crazy, maybe you just don't completely understand their argument. I, for one, I understand their argument. I also understand the other viewpoint as well. Like, hey, it's just part of the world that we live in today. People are putting messages into their stories, and I get it. But for me, I have to say, for me, it ruins it when it comes down to the lazy storytelling. You can't just, not everything has to be so on the nose. You don't have to be lazy. Let your story tell your message, okay? That's the thing. I don't care about, like what you're saying. I don't have a problem with the message that is in the book. I don't have a problem with what they are saying or getting at, but it's the way that it's gone about doing it. Like, it's just lazy storytelling. And to me, like, what are you doing telling stories if you're just gonna just be so on the nose about things? Like, why are you telling these stories in comic books? Like, why don't you just go write an article for Newsweek or USA Today or the LA Times or something? It just seems pointless to tell something, to put a specific message out there in just such a plain and simple way. And it's almost frustrating. I mean, you can probably see in my face and hear it in my voice that it's almost frustrating getting in and trying to read something, and then this happens. Like, it was going good. Like I said, the first issue was great, and then I get to the second issue, I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Like, what'd you do? What did you do? Like, it was going good, and then, like, you just kind of, like, made a left turn just, like, out of nowhere, and I don't know. Obviously, this is only 3 issues of the Spider-Man and the League of Realms. I'm through 2 issues already. Well, I guess 1.5, I guess you'd say. But there's only 1 left. So am I going to see it through to the end? Yes, I am. Am I seeing Giant Man through to the end? Yes, I am. I probably, next time one of these events comes around, I am probably going to stick to my guns and not go with the tie-in issues. Because, okay, for one, the War of the Realms, it's been okay. It's been a lot. It's, for the most part, been underwhelming, and I gotta say that's kind of a disappointment because after Spider-Geddon, I did a review of Spider-Geddon here. It was a pretty big event. A lot of things going on in that. Wasn't so many books tying into it, but it was a big event. And for me, I thought it was kind of lackluster, but it wasn't completely terrible. Now, this one, the War of the Realms, they were really building this up, man. They were really churching this thing up, and it was supposed to be cool. It's supposed to be great. But now, like, I'm getting to the end of it, and it's kind of like, oh man, like, we're getting ready to get War of the Realms issue number 5 here pretty soon, and I gotta tell you, man, like, it's fallen short. I mean, are they gonna reel it in the next couple of issues? I honestly don't know. I don't know. It started off, first couple issues seemed like it was really going somewhere, kind of getting there, and 3 and 4 it just kind of really, I don't know. I don't even know that they even started hitting the brakes, but maybe they just let off the gas and it just started to slow down. Maybe there's something going on in some of these other tie-in issues that I'm missing that is the exciting part of the story. But just judging from what I've read so far, I mean, those stories are probably like, oh, good, oh, no, you forgot how to tell a story. You forgot how to tell a good story, man. Like, oh, man, it's almost very frustrating just dealing with this. And I honestly don't know what to say. I'm glad we're getting close to the end. I'm gonna put it to you that way. I'm glad we're getting close to the end. I've got a couple more of these War of the Realms, Giant Man, Spider-Man issues to get. A couple more War of the Realms to get, and I think that's pretty much about it at that point. Now, the Venom issues, those were actually pretty good. Maybe if there's another tie-in or 2 of those, I might pick those up as well. But man, I gotta tell you, man, I'm glad I didn't end up going with the War of the Realms, Punisher tie-in, or even that Land of the whatever things, man, those other tie-ins. I'm just glad I didn't go there. But that's all I have for my comic books today. Let's go ahead. We've got plenty of things to talk about, and let's go ahead and get into those. I am going to hop on my computer right now. Hey guys, welcome back to the Trailer Park News here on the 2nd Street Marvel. It's May 30th, 2019, and I got some important news, man, because here on the Trailer Park News, we take movie news seriously, man. Seriously. So, anyway, I got some inside sources. They gave me some information about some movies coming up in the MCU. Alright? Okay, now, apparently, Sony, that's the people who own the Spider-Man. They own him and everything, so they just lend him to the MCU, and so apparently they want Venom in the MCU now. They want to give him over with Spider-Man so they can all be together and everything. But you know what I heard? Here's the thing, man, is I heard that the studio executive over there, Kevin Smith, okay, Kevin Smith apparently don't want Venom in there, because he told them, like, hey man, if you wanted him to come join our universe, you should have come and talked to us before you made that movie. Cause now you got Tom Skerritt in there and he's all playing the Venom and stuff, but not only that, you put him in San Francisco, okay? You put him in San Francisco at a time, and you know, like, that's where Scott Lang lives, okay? And you put him in San Francisco at a time when 50% of all the people's dead. Right? And he said they were all dead, and yet there's all this action going on, and all these people are just moving on and doing their stuff without it. Like, man, that was like, we can't just do that. We can't just put him in our movie. I mean, it's called continuity. You know what I mean? Like, there's no continuity there. You know, they gotta compromise it. And so, you know, like, Kevin Smith said, no, man, like, we can't do that stuff. That's the thing that nobody's telling you. Like, nobody knows that part, so don't tell nobody, okay? You heard it here. Kevin Smith said no. Kevin Smith said no. Okay, now, the next one is, okay, oh man, you guys are never gonna believe this one. Okay, now, I know you probably heard a lot of news out there about this, okay? Because there's like these people, they got websites and stuff, and they just like, you know, they write stories. They write stories and they put them on these websites, and that's exactly where this story came from too. Okay, these guys, they got these websites and they write these stories, and sometimes there's other guys that got websites, and they copy that guy's story. You know, it's like one person just says everything, and it just like the whole world afire, man. It's pretty crazy, these people with these websites. I gotta get me one of those, you know, so I can give you guys the real news. Okay, because that's what we do here on the Trailer Park News. Okay, so, the next thing is they're filming a Black Widow movie, okay? Now, I know what you're thinking, right? Black Widow, man, it's about time we get the Black Widow movie. Okay, now obviously this is going to star, now I don't know if anybody told you guys this, but it's going to have Scarlett Johansson in there as the Black Widow. Now, I don't know about you guys, if you guys have ever seen Scarlett Johansson before, like, she kind of makes me feel like, you know, if I was in a bathtub full of Black Widows, you know, if you're into that sort of thing. And anyway, I'm sorry, man, that might have been a little appropriate for the show, but I mean, it's Scarlett Johansson, man. She was in that movie, the Aeon Flux movie. Anyway, okay, so Scarlett Johansson is there. They're going to be filming. Okay, they're already out there filming, you know, and nobody knows about it. You know, supposedly there was nothing going on in production, but nobody knows. But I'm telling you, man, they're filming this movie. You want to know where they're filming it at? Okay, now, they're filming this movie in nowhere. Yeah, that's right, you know, nowhere. I know, man, that's what I said when I heard it too. They're filming in nowhere right now. Now, in case you don't know, nowhere is inside the head of a dead celestial. Okay, now these celestials are the people, they harvest tea and stuff. My wife, she buys that stuff all the time, man. And so anyway, yeah, so they're filming in nowhere. And I don't know how Black Widow got nowhere or anything. Maybe it happened with the snap, or maybe that's when, you know, you jump to that thing that was in that movie, the Endgame movie, there with the Black Widow. And I think when she jumped down in there, I think it teleported her to nowhere, and that's, okay, so they're currently filming in nowhere right now. So apparently, like, she must be going on some like cosmic quest to do some like really cool stuff, cause you know who's in nowhere, right? That's right, it's the Collector. And who better to have working for the Collector than like the person who can infiltrate places and get you stuff, cause that's what she does, okay? So yeah, they're filming in nowhere right now. It's Scarlett Johansson. I know nobody's told you guys this yet, okay? Nobody told you Scarlett Johansson's there, and she's in nowhere, and that's where they're filming at. Now, in case we've seen nowhere before in the MCU. Now, it was in those movies, the movies with all those people who got kidnapped and stuff, and they got Stockholm Syndrome. And, man, no, but there's that one guy, he don't, Jax. Jax, yeah, the gray guy. The gray guy who's not too smart. Yeah, okay, so he runs around with all these people that got abducted as children, and in one of the movies, that guy who like abducted a lot of children, like they said he was like an okay dude at the end, like and everybody came and they blew off fireworks and stuff. It was Guardians of the Child Abductors, man. Yeah, have you seen that one with man, who's that dude, man? You know, yeah, he's that Lego guy. You know, yeah. You know who I'm talking about, yeah. So that's where we gotta see Nowhere, okay? They went there in that movie, okay? And you know, if you went and seen Infinity War, I don't want to give you any spoilers or anything, but they actually went to Nowhere there too, and they had to go there, and that's where actually one of those children that I was telling you about that got abducted and has the Stockholm Syndrome, she went there and met with the person that had abducted her, and like she tried to stab him, and then she felt bad and everything, and then he took her away, and with his little shiny glove, and man, I don't know, it's pretty crazy, but yeah, they're there in Nowhere filming right now. Alright, so that's Scarlett Johansson. Remember, you guys heard that here first. And, you know, I'm so, you know, I'm just so excited. I'm sorry, guys, you know, and I do apologize for the other day, man. I was drinking and just having a good old time. My cousin, he came into town for a Memorial Day weekend. And, you know, I'm off on Sundays and Mondays, man. So, like, you know, we had some drinks and stuff. And, you know, I'm sorry, guys. I'd never do that to you guys again. I won't drink on the show. I feel really bad about it. And, I'm sorry. I hope you take my apologies. And, yeah, I'm sorry. But you know what you could do? What you could do if you're not mad at me for that, I tell you what you can do is you can make sure you're here tomorrow, man. Make sure you're here tomorrow for the Trailer Park Live, and that's happening on Fridays, okay? That happens every Friday. I do that show, and it's at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and you should check your local listings, because I don't drink there, man, I swear. I don't really even drink that much. That's why I was so sauced that night. I'm sorry, okay? But yeah, just coming over and checking out the Trailer Park Live. That's tomorrow, that's on Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And, you know, we talk about stuff and we have fun with you all. Hell, man. Dude, you know, it's just always a good time when y'all stop by. So that's why you should stop by. Make sure you hit subscribe. Okay, make sure you hit that subscribe button on there, so you know, and get the notifications. You know, hit that bell. You know, like that Liberty Bell, gong gong. You know, you gotta hit that thing, man, and you'll get those notifications when we're getting ready to go live. Okay, you all have a good rest of your night. Okay, and don't be telling nobody about that Nowhere thing, man, because even them people on the internet, they didn't know that. Only my people knew it. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. How are you all doing tonight? I hope everybody's well. I see we got plenty of people here in the live chats. I gotta say, Just a Rican and his comics, welcome. Is the first live stream I've seen you make it on here. Comic Man Jake, welcome. Fatal J, Nerdy Blurb TV, all the usual suspects, with including Tracy. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful night. And I'm going to try to keep it, I always say I want to try to keep it fairly short tonight. And I don't want to say that because it seems like every time that I say that, it ends up not being very short tonight. And I want to keep it short tonight. So, getting into some of the just some of the things that have come out this week. Obviously, we see, it turns out that apparently we were right a while back that, those first hints from Variety magazine were true, that Robert Pattinson is our new Batman. And I guess at this point now, we just deal with it. And sorry, fans, for people out there who didn't like this news or did like this news. Hey, that's a good thing for you, right? Me, for myself, like I said before, I don't really care. I don't really know Robert Pattinson to, how to judge how he's going to do in this movie. I haven't seen enough of his work to have any kind of a say so. And as I was saying, I do apologize. I've got some videos I've supposed to have been working on. It's just been a busy week with my business and everything. So I've got some reviews all lined up, and I also actually, part of it too is I realize I've got to step my game up as far as getting some of those videos done, because when I'm going to, and honestly, I've got to do a better job of when there's a book that I really like and I'm going to do a review on. I got to tell you all the reasons why, just like I did in that Black Widow video. You guys all seen my Black Widow review. I was very passionate in that movie, in those videos, because I really do feel passionate about that book, man. Like, that book is like, seriously, it's like one of the greatest comic books that I have ever read. So I need to bring more of that to the comic book reviews and when I'm doing those. And watching some of the people I've met out here in the YouTube community, watching some of their videos has made me realize that I need to sharpen my skills more on doing some of those comic book reviews, to tell you exactly why I like this particular book, and or why I don't, especially when I don't, because if I don't, I need to be able to tell you why, because I need to understand why, because I've got to have a good reasoning behind it, right? I mean, why else would I not like it? So I've got to work on that. And in one of them, I've got one of the videos that I'm going to be working on doing a review on one of these comic books. There's actually a special deal out there for you all that I want to, and that's why I want to hurry and see if I can get this done over the weekend, because there's a special deal out there that you guys can probably take up on for this book. So, and I want to let you guys know about that, so you can take advantage of that. But yeah, other than that, like I said, we got Robert Pattinson was finally cast as Batman. Like it's 100% official. And Fatal J says, I think Robert Pattinson will be dope. Strange feeling. I think you will. I think you will. Okay, and let's see. Let's run down the comments really quick. I see there's a lot of people here. See what everybody has to say. It looks like I was monitoring earlier, and it looked like everybody was just kind of saying what's up to everybody. And like I said, Just a Rican and his comics made it here. And I'm not sure if you guys have ever checked out his channel. I actually heard about him I believe through Nerdy Blurb TV is where I heard about him. And oh man, is this thing being slow again? If that's breaking up, let me know, guys. Please leave it down in the comments below. It's giving me, I don't know. On one thing it's saying yes, on one thing it's saying no. But I ran into Just a Rican and his comics. I believe it's through Nerdy Blurb TV. I think I heard a mention in there somewhere. Seen something. And so I went over there and subscribed. I thought I had subscribed, but then he came up again somewhere else, and so I was like, hey, or maybe I subscribed and I didn't have my notifications on, but I finally got some notifications to get onto one of his live streams, and it was really great. I was out in the garage lifting some weights and just working out, and I just had it on. I was sitting there watching while I was working out, just hearing everybody talking about the comic books, and just kind of tossing my 2 cents in here and there. Pretty cool little community that he's got over there. A bunch of dudes just hanging out and talking about comics. I seen there was oh man, I can't remember the guy's name all of a sudden. He is the oh man, let's check here. His name, oh man, where'd he go? Reggie. Yeah, that's it. Reggie Simmons, IFBB Pro. I went to his channel and got to check out some of his videos. Got some pretty cool stuff. And got on and checked out a couple of the other people and seen what they're doing. Like I said, they got a pretty good little comic book community going on over there. And it's nice to get into those because, like I said, it lets me know, like, see what other people are talking about, like, what the, when it comes to their comic books. So I kind of know, like if I'm talking to somebody like this, somebody that knows their comic books, I need to do, when I'm doing comic book reviews, I need to do something that's not only appealing to people that are new into comics, so like somebody like I was, a year ago, but also to people who are, more experienced than I am, who are like really into this stuff. So I need to learn to communicate that better. And what better way to then learn to get better than to be in there with other people who are into, comic books and have been into them for, most of these dudes look like they've been into it for longer than me, and seeing what they're talking about and what they're looking at, and just things like that. And like, oh, okay. So it makes me, have to work, that much harder when I go to do my comic book reviews. And, it's something I appreciate. It's good for that. And, so it was nice running into that channel, and I think I've made it into some of their different live streams and everything over there. If you guys ever get a chance, if you guys haven't been over there, you should go check them out. Like I said, just a bunch of dudes chilling, talking about comics, man. Just talking about comics. It's just a good time. And then there was God, where else? There was something else I came across today too. Yes, LB, Lonely Banter. He actually did a video today and this morning. I'd seen it this morning. It may have dropped this morning, but talking about the X-Men movie, the X-Men Dark Phoenix, getting ready to come on at the theaters. Now, and in this trailer, you see like, I don't know, you see, oh man, what's her name? See, at this point, I don't even care anymore. You know what I mean? That's how bad it is. Mystique, Jennifer Lawrence, is there on camera, and she's there fighting with Professor X or whatever. She's like, oh, they should call this the X-Women and all this stuff. And it's like, oh, did you seriously just do that? After all the other things that have been going on, like, you're going to put that in a TV spot? Like, oh man, I don't know, but also at the same time, it gets people's attention too, though, right? I guess I guess they're trying to get people's attention to get them there to get asses into seats, and they need to do something to get asses in the seats. And if that's pandering, hey, pander away, I guess, Fox. Because you got to do what you can. Or is this Disney at this point? Is this Disney like tossing like stuff in at the last second? Like, hey, let's just throw this out there. Hey, it worked. It worked with Captain Marvel. Let's go ahead and do it with the Dark Phoenix. Oh man, but LB did a pretty good video over there, talking about that. And yeah, it's just, man. Is it sometimes it just makes me think like, where's some imagination when it comes to, I don't know, marketing stuff? I mean, look at what they did with Avengers Endgame, man. That stuff was genius, was it not? Like us geeks, they had us reeled in anyway. But I don't see how you could have been a regular fan and not been pulled in by that marketing campaign they had going on. But yeah, so you should go check out that video that he did over there, where he was talking about that. Like I said, I don't know what maybe like I said, maybe that's what they were going for. Is for that reactionary thing for people to be like, whoa, what? Like, because I know, like, when I seen that, I'm like, man, like, this stuff, I don't care about that. I mean, hey, whatever. But like, it's almost like it's blatant, and it's like, are you trying to like turn people away here, or are you just trying to hook somebody like me in even further? Because at this point, if that was really, and that's the other thing too, because I was gonna go see the movie regardless, but if they were really trying to get me, like, you wouldn't do that. But like, at this point, if that's what you're gonna do, I mean, I've got to go now at this point to be like, oh, are you really going there, guys? Come on, man. Like, really? I don't know, man. But then again, I don't do, if I was good at marketing and social media, my channel would probably be bigger too. But yeah, so before I got here, started the show tonight, I was over, I'm not sure if you guys have ever watched, and I've talked about him here on the show before, Young Rippa 95. He's got Young Rippa 59. 59, I'm sorry, I always get this mixed up. Young Rippa 59. And he's got a great channel. He does a lot of live streams, and he does, talks a lot about comic books and just things like that. And he's got a really great channel, is over there tonight. And, he talks about a lot. He talks about a lot of stuff, and when I hopped into the show, it was like right before this like firestorm went off, right? But he gets on there and he talks about a lot of things that like people don't want to talk about necessarily. The people can't talk about for whatever reasons, like maybe they have and he was even talking about that, maybe they have jobs, or maybe they just certain reasons other people can't make content where they want to say what they really want to say, or say, or even post it on their social media and things like that, because maybe they have a job. Now certainly there are things out there that I would say are taboo, but at the same time, okay, like it comes down to, I don't think there's anything like that you could really post on your social media that like it's something that's like fire worthy. That like this person needs to lose their job for joking about this or that. Like like James Gunn, like the whole thing that got James Gunn fired. Does somebody need to lose their job for that? No, man. Like that's ridiculous. Even when I see people driving down the road, like the tow truck driver driving down the street here in my neighborhood, because I live right across the street from school, driving down the street here, and he's talking on his cell phone, and or got his face on his cell phone, and he's driving through the neighborhood, and it's school's letting out. There's kids, parents walking across the street and everything, cross guards, like, and you got your face glued to your phone. Like, I call their company and I tell them, and I'm like, look, you got your driver right here, and they usually know who it is, and I tell them, I'm not trying to get somebody fired. I'm just trying to say you need to talk to these people. Like, people need jobs, okay? People still need jobs. At least give them a chance. But and that's the unfortunate thing of social media. So Eric July, he talks about a lot of things that people won't talk about or don't talk about, and and part of the other thing is, a lot of people, the reasons that people won't talk about these kinds of things is maybe they just can't quite voice their opinions and articulate them as well as a man like Eric July does over there. And then that's the gentleman's name over there. He the way he does, he articulates it well, presents it all well, and all these different things. So you know he's got some good stuff. So I was over there tonight, man, and like he was killing it. He was killing, like dude's like all of a sudden just like, it's the end of the month and everything. Dude, like, people are just like dropping super chats like crazy. Boom, boom, like these huge super chats, like $100 at a time, $100, $100, $100, and like these two dudes were just having a pissing contest, going back and forth with these $100 donations. Like, I was like, damn, man. I'm like, that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. And then another guy actually went and PayPal'd him $1,000. Yeah, yeah, I said $1,000, $1,000. PayPal him $1,000. Okay, for his content just on his channel, and like that's how much and I don't mean this in any kind of like bad way. That's how good this young man is. Because he's younger than I am, a little bit younger than I am. But this dude knows what he's talking about, and he runs like this really, like, I think like the hugest libertarian website that there is out there. It's called Being Libertarian, and but like, dude, like, he's like a legit person with like a lot of influence. He does a lot of stuff. He's in a band and everything, and he's got a really good channel, and people are just there, just boom, 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 just dropping money. I'm like, dude, I mean, that's how much people love his content, and that's how much people value what he does and his content and things like that. And I certainly do. I've talked about it here on the show before. I am a Patreon supporter of his over on Patreon. And like I said, because I support what he does as well. I mean, like I said, he does a good job over there, presenting himself and his whole view. And when you see, he brings people on his show too, and lets them have their say so as they talk about things, and they'll argue back and forth, just debating their points and whatnot. And sometimes, most of the times, I mean, he shuts a lot of these people down because, I don't know, just because a lot of people have weak arguments, and that's the thing, and that's what I'm talking about. Even with like my comic book reviews, I've got to get better at doing things like that, so I can sharpen my skills in articulating those certain things like that. Because one of these days, and I sent a super chat into him today, and told him, keep up the great work, because I told him, I hope one of these days that I have, I can make somewhat close to the content that is as valuable to people as he does, because he does a lot of content that a lot of people find value in, and that's why he's getting those super chats like that. There ain't people just sitting there sending him $100, like $500 in one, just in one live session, just because they're just like, like, hey, here's $100, you just got money to throw around, and just, haha, whatever. No, it's, they're doing that, I mean, to get there. And it's gonna be slow moving. I understand that. Like I said, I just cracked 200 subscribers here recently. So thank you all for that. Thank you all for tuning in to the videos and watching. Like I said, you guys know I enjoy you guys being here. And if you're ever here, please let me know what you think down in the comments. Leave comments, leave likes, or leave dislikes, whatever, however you feel. But let me know what you think and what you think I can improve on, because that's the only way I'm ever going to be able to improve, other than taking and looking at what other content creators out there are doing and talking about and things like that. And and I guess that's just another thing that comes with experience as well. But like I said, if you guys haven't checked out Young Ripper 95, you should go check that out. And as a matter of fact, it kind of, that kind of ties into something else that I really wanted to talk about today. That I really kind of wanted to be my main topic for today, was is you know how do you say, is social media ruining fandoms? Um, Let me know, what you think down in the comments below. I'm gonna take a drink and go over some chats really quick. If you have something to say about that, is social media ruining fandom? Whether that's movies, whether that's comic books, whether that's well, I guess it can't really affect. I mean, it can affect music, but is social media ruining these things that we love so much? TV shows, social media. Let me know down in the comments below. I'm gonna go through some of these super chats, or not super chats. Some Anyway, I'm going to go through some of these chats here and see what everybody's up to. I'll be right back. I'm going to take a drink of water. Okay. All right. Okay, I think I did get pretty much through Comic Man Jake says, "What did I walk into?" Yeah, man. I started doing those skits, like, at one point I realized that the Trailer Park News actually started here on the Trailer Park Live as a joke. And it was my way that I was basically making fun of all the clickbait out there, whether it be here on YouTube or out there on the internet with websites like We Got This Covered and things like that. Um, Man, it seems like there's so many others that have come out lately and just seem like they've been like very, very clickbaity as well. And but that was, Trailer Park News was originally supposed to be just like my spoof stuff, like spoof, those headlines that everybody's out there talking about, like everybody's talking about the Black Widow thing right now, and and how Sony all of a sudden wants Venom in the MCU and all these different things. And so that's what I figured. I wanted to bring it back to that, because I realized at some point I started to kind of like make it like a serious kind of thing, where I was like, well, it's supposed to be funny, it's supposed to be fun, and I wanted to be kind of creative with it, and that's what it was all about. So I wanted to bring it back to that, to help bring a little bit of creativity to it. But and let me know what you guys think about those. I mean, I see people laughing at them and everything, and the laughs do count, and I do. I obviously am doing it for laughs. Try to be funny, but also at the same time, you can see. I'm not sure if you were really paying attention there, when I was watching that, when I was doing that video. But there towards the end, when I started doing, like, the apologizing for, drinking on the show on Monday and all that stuff. I started doing it, like I was actually tearing up. I was actually gonna pull out full tears and everything, but I was like, no, that might be a little too far. Maybe I don't need to go there. But it was kind of a way to stretch my creativity and maybe bring, I don't know, maybe bring, like, like impersonations, or some, I like acting, I guess, stuff like that. Because if, in case you guys don't know, when I grew up loving movies. I grew up watching movies, watching TV. We had satellite when I grew up, and we grew up where I grew up at. We lived 13 miles out in the country, so going anywhere was, it was pretty much wasn't an option. So, we played outside a lot, had a trampoline, did stuff like that. But then, watched a lot of TV too. And, that's kind of where I got into movies, music, and things like that. And, I always wanted to be an actor, and always paid attention, in movies and just watching things, like just the way movies are made, and then just watching actors and things like that, and learning, I guess just the craft of acting, and so that's what I want. I wanted to bring something kind of like that back to the just back for me to be a little bit more creative, and that's what I'm going to bring back to the Trailer Park News. So if there's actually any other kind of like people or personalities or anything you'd like me to do for that, please let me know down in the comments, because I could certainly always use ideas. Now, okay, getting back into the main topic of tonight is social media ruining fandom. It seems like this has kind of been a popular topic lately, but it's really a good one, because we were talking like last week, like with Sonic and everything. Like everybody wants Sonic to be changed. The look of him and everything. And then a couple of weeks ago we were talking about Batman. Everybody was outraged about Batman. Batman, Robert Pattinson. Now the thing is, and then there was, what's funny is, I think it was actually Fatal J tagged me and a bunch of other people on Twitter in this post about, on his video about the Sonic the Hedgehog thing, and we all, everybody was in there kind of going back and forth on just about the issue of studios listening to fans, and of course everybody's in there, it's like, Twitter, you can only type so much on Twitter at a time. So, I'm not trying to, go on and on forever. But, I was talking about, it's not necessarily a good thing. Fans shouldn't always have a say so. Studios shouldn't always listen to fans. When it comes like to certain production things like that, like the thing with Sonic the Hedgehog, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Sony felt they could do. Was it Sony that's doing that? I don't know whoever the hell's doing that movie, but whoever it is that felt like they could, just based on their viewer feedback and things like that, felt like they could go in and, not spend too much money redesigning this character to appeal to fans a little more. And that's just fine if they felt they could do that. Because one thing they've got to know is this movie is not going to make money. Okay, changing that character's looks is not going to improve the movie. Okay, it's not. Because the thing is, even if the character kind of looked bad, kind of like with the images that I seen in the preview, and I didn't even see the preview, I just seen an image somewhere. It was pretty bad, but it wasn't that bad. Like changing the character, is it going to improve it? I don't know, probably not. But if they felt they could do that budget wise and be able to do it, I mean, hey, if they think they can get a couple more asses in seats to their movie, they got to do what they got to do. But when it comes to other things, there's other things like, maybe, the fans shouldn't have such a say-so in. Like I said, it should be a balance there. It should be a balance to what studios are listening to and taking into consideration. And there is obviously times, and I think for the most part, studios have done a good job of listening to fans and input from other viewers when they, screen with test audiences and things like that. Which makes me kind of wonder, did they not screen this with test audiences before they dropped the trailers or what? I don't know. Or maybe it was just a teaser trailer. I don't know. But they felt they could do that, and that's a good thing. It probably is a good thing. But does it always necessarily mean that fans should always be listened to? And like I said, everybody was in there kind of, like I said, Twitter's such a you can't type a whole lot in there, so it seems like everybody's in there kind of jeering at each other, but I don't really ever take it as that, because and that's what I want to talk about today. Is people on social media, they read something and you can't, there's no tone to it. You can't tell somebody's joking, if somebody's kidding. When we're communicating through a typed text, I am not going to assume that you're being a smartass. I'm not going to assume to mean that you're being stern or you're being an asshole or anything like that, because it's typed. I assume that you're probably just talking with me like I would you if we were just talking face to face. I can't translate it to like, are you being a smartass? Are you joking? Even if you type haha in there, are you like haha haha, or are you like ha ha ha, or are you haha? You don't know. And that's one thing I've man, I come across it like every single time I'm on social media. It seems like I come across this. Like somebody will write something. They'll type a question or they're talking about something, and then you reply, and they're just like, then they come back like, I don't know, like you respond to them, and they respond back, and it's like they're getting angry, and it's like I'm like, I don't know, like I think you're getting angry here. It seems like you're getting angry about what you're typing, but I can't. I mean, I can't tell. Like, if I'm saying something that, like, I don't, you can't tell if you're getting angry at something and I'm saying. I mean, what am I saying that's angering you? Because I'm just typing. I'm typing in a text, and you can't. It's not something to be read into. Okay. I'm just typing what I mean and what I'm saying. So if you're typing something, you got to put what you mean and what you're saying, because I see a lot of people, they're like, well, what I mean is this, and you're like, oh, okay, so you're saying, like, you're like, well, no, like, what, and it's like, it's going on and on. It's like, what what are you saying? Like, I mean, do you know what you're saying? um like for instance, on one of these, there's this channel on Facebook, and in one of these groups that I'm in, somebody's talking about YouTube, and it's like one of these YouTube groups is what it is. Somebody was like, how do I get more views on my videos? And it's a get more people to view them. That's, I mean, it just seems that's the answer to your question, right? Like, what do you mean? Am I supposed to read into that more? How am I supposed to read into that more? How do I get more views on my videos? Get more people to watch them. I'm not being smart about it, but I mean, that's the answer: is you get more people to watch them. But I put that, and they're like, oh, ha ha, like, but really, I'm like, you know, but really, that's what you do. I don't know. I mean, do you need more ideas on how to get them out there, get word out? Do you need more ideas on how to? I mean, are you going to put ads? Are you going to put ads on there? Are you going to do this and that? And the ultimate thing is, if you guys are here on YouTube and you guys are YouTubers, you know that it's not about views anyway. And that was the thing, because I asked a couple other questions, because there was some other people in there that were talking, and they were asking some stuff, and I was answering their questions. And by all means, I don't know like a whole lot of stuff, but they're all like, oh yeah, I want more views, more views, more views, views, and I'm like, no, it's not about views here, but they're all just talking about views, and I'm like, look, you need to get your, before, more important than views is, do you want 100 views on your video, where like 100 people went in and clicked on your video for 3 seconds? Or do you want 10 views on your video where everybody went in there and viewed for the whole 8 minutes of your video? The answer is you want the 10 with all 8 minutes, because you got all that Facebook algorithm stuff. But so I was in there, but I was answering these questions, and they're like, what, like, why, like, why are you being smart? I'm like, I'm not, like, I'm answering I'm answering your question. What, like, you asked how to get more views, and then finally somebody asked, like, yeah, like, and it wasn't that long of a conversation, but like how do you do, like, okay, well, I mean, for one, yeah, because I went to the person's profile and I looked on their Facebook. I'm like, for one, you don't even have your YouTube channel listed on your personal account. You should have that on there so your friends and family go on your Facebook and they see that. But then two, do you have a Facebook like page? Do you have a Twitter? Do you have an Instagram? Do you do all that stuff? You should do all that stuff. That's how you get more views, because then you can share it through those avenues. But then you also tag other people and just different things like that. But I don't know. But that's the thing is, I was in there just talking to people, answering questions, and like, I'm just answering, and people are laughing and everything. I'm like, I'm not, I'm like, what's so funny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm only answering the question. You guys are reading it, and like, because like some of the people were sitting there getting mad at me. That was the funny thing, is people were sitting there getting mad at me because I was just answering the question that was being asked, and people were in there laughing. I'm like, I'm not being funny. I'm not being funny. I'm not being facetious. I'm just answering the question, and then and that kind of came up in that same thing, like I said, in that thing on Twitter. Everybody's sitting there going back and forth, and just like, like because at that point everybody's, this and that, and like I said, it's only little sound bites because you can't put too much on there, and everyone's going back and it's like, just reading through all the conversations, like I think everybody is everybody reading what's going on here, like all the responses, because like everybody's in here arguing about this, and I think everybody feels the same way, but you're all in here arguing amongst like about the same thing, like, but I think everybody feels the same way, like nobody was like one way, like completely one. I think most of the people were all actually on the same side, on this particular subject. With should fans, studios listen to fans, and but yet everybody was in there bickering, and I'm just like, okay, like I don't know, it was just kind of funny, and like I said, some people were going back and forth, and I don't know, I was just kind of looking like, I think everybody here feels the same way, but it's like I don't know, but that's the thing about the social media, and like I said, I was in this in that group, in that YouTube group, where this person was asking about the views, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like I said, people were in there getting mad at me. I'm like, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm answering the question. When they ask how do you get more of that, like, I mean, do you want more views, or are you seeing how you can get more people to stay on your video longer, or are you asking how to just share it on social media to get more views? And like I said, but that's the other thing is, is social media ruining fandom in those ways? Because another thing is, was talking with somebody else, and like people being able to express themselves about their favorite things or what they like about things. Basically, having like intelligent conversations regarding anything when it comes down to it. Whether you're talking like comic books or movies or music, and and that's where a lot of the things come in at with certain people in their level of expertise is is people being able to articulate all their feelings and put them all out there to share with others. Like an example that I used was two different people, like say like two different people talking about like a guitar solo in a song, where one person talks about one way, the other person talks about another way, and in describing the two, you could clearly tell that like one person just likes music, and is like, oh yeah, like this part right here, it's really thrashy, the guitar, and just like the way he breaks it down, and there's a little solo there, and then the other person we actually go so and like describing like oh yeah, we're sitting there using those power chords, and then all of a sudden jumping in through those scales, and then those hammer-ons and hammer-offs, just talking about stuff like that. Okay, you're talking about somebody who just likes music, who is like a fan and probably can really talk about music, and the difference between somebody who is an actual guitar player and likes music and can really articulate more things like that, because not everybody can do that. Now the question being posed was in this particular conversation was I don't know, was why does it seem like there are less people that can have an intelligent conversation about comic books? And through the course of the conversation, we everything got figured out exactly what was going on, because like at first the question was asked, it was kind of like there was nothing was quite clear, because I was like, well, like some of it comes down to articulation. That's what it came down to, was articulation, the way people articulate their points, and being and my argument is that people can have intelligent conversations about things without being able to completely articulate their points. Case in point being, like I was saying about a guy playing guitar and listening, like I said, if you were listening to a Steve Vai or a Joe Satriani album, and so the difference between a guitar player, somebody who plays guitars or is just a musician anyway, talking about music and breaking it down, as opposed to somebody a little more like me, who is more of a huge fan of music and talks about it in that way. Now the thing is I wouldn't say I'm quite a musician. I have, I've been in a band, I've done some singing, but I played some drums, I've got a drum set, I can play those, but I am by no means a drummer. I've got a guitar, I can get on it and play some stuff, but I'm not a guitar player. But so I can't have an intelligent, like an intelligent conversation about breaking down music and breaking down like the guitars on this part, this drum solo, just all these different things. I can't articulate all of that stuff as well as somebody who actually plays guitar or plays music in that way. But I have been involved in music enough and around enough of the right people where I can talk intelligently about the music and about those things. Just when it comes, like, if you heard, if you actually heard my friend Kevin, the Goat Man, if you ever actually heard him sit down and break down an album and tell you why this album is good and all these different things. Like, I'm telling you, like, if you guys seen my recent video, I did one on King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime. Now, I gotta tell you, I recorded that video a while back, and I just had to release it. I just had to get it out there. I'm like, I was completely unsatisfied with it because it should have been a whole lot better. But the thing is it's probably for somebody who is more newer, hasn't listened to Faith No More anyway. But the thing is like, if you seen my review, and it's like, oh, it was okay, an okay review. But then if you've seen my friend Kevin talk about and do a music review on it, you'd be like, oh, okay. Because like here on YouTube, you can't play the music on it or anything, so you really have to articulate those things. If you heard Kevin explain it, you'd be like, oh, I got you. Okay, right. You know what I mean? Because he can articulate that better. But that by no means doesn't mean that I can't have an intelligent conversation about it. And I think that was kind of the point in the whole conversation, was it was coming down to more articulation. And I guess from my stance was, but the conversation was relative to comic books. But I would say that kind of comes around to just anything in general. Especially here on YouTube, the biggest ones would be for us like comic books and movies, and being able to talk about those things and have an intelligent conversation about those things. Now, that comes down to, really the difference between, like I said, somebody being outraged and upset at the fact that Robert Pattinson was cast as Batman and they just don't like it and they're upset about it, over somebody who's more of an actual film fan, who is more of a, maybe not even just a critic, but more, I don't know, I guess what would you call it, a film pundit, I guess. They can pick out things and articulate, and they know more things about, just like the movies, than the person who's outraged about Robert Pattinson being cast as Batman. Okay, and the person who thinks that they should be able to be upset and have a say-so in the production of a movie, and who is casting them, or what the script is, or, upset because their headcanon isn't happening in the movie, or whatnot, and, and that's the difference. Now, the thing is these two people can still have an intelligent conversation. Somebody who's just, just an average fan of movies, and somebody who is like I said, who is like a critic or a film pundit, or like I said, somebody like me who's been watching since I was a child. And when I watch a movie, I'm taking like everything in, man, as much as I can. And like I said, when I watch a movie, like, for me, and you especially see that in these MCU movies, and that's one thing, like, hats off to the people over at Marvel Studios, is when you watch a movie, anything that you see in the frame, you see that little frame there, anything you see in that frame in a movie, the director has there for a reason. Okay, it's there for a reason. So I mean, I'm telling you, there's so many things that happen in movies, so little things in the background, and in some movies it's something that comes around to show, come around to show you later. But I mean, they have things there for a reason, that's why they got set dressers and set decorators, just all that different stuff. Prop people they do all these things, they build these intricate sets for those reasons, and to put things in there. Now I'm sure somebody's out there going to argue, like, oh, what about Game of Thrones? They're putting Starbucks coffees and stuff and water bottles into their episodes. They just they don't give a fudge over there, right? That's different, for one. I mean, that's HBO or something like that, so that's not some big production movie. Like, movie. They don't by any means mean that they don't have a big production over there, because they do. I mean, they got big production. That's HBO. But like I said, in that stuff like that in a movie, I mean, it's very rare. And like I said, I don't know. And the thing is social media actually ruining actually ruining the fandom for a lot of us average people. And I think it is. I think social media in a way is affecting like the movies and things like that in a bad way. Now I wish it would do it in more of a good way. And that's the other thing. And that's why, like I was saying, I was talking about like Eric July over there, Young Rip of 59. One of the things that he talks about a lot too is the fact of like and like I said, I'm not here to really get into all the politics or anything, but one of the things he talks about is like liberal politics and everything, and how it's like ruining media and things like that, and we see it everywhere. Okay, we see it everywhere, and that's one of the things that he talks about a lot over there, and like is just the way that it's affecting everything, and the way that they do it, when they're trying to spread their messages and their agendas and all that, is they do it with the arts. And people like, and if you're here on my channel, chances are you're somebody like who has wits about you. You have common sense, you get things, you're not like one of these like crazy toxic people, who's just you know what I mean, like, if you're here, you probably know, man. We've seen these people out there. LB's here. Welcome, Lonely Banter. I see you're out there, brother. Welcome. If you go to his channel, he's the same way, man. He's a dude who knows what he's talking about. He's not like some knee-jerk reactionist and, just like, thing, crying out for representation and all these different kinds of things. And he is a black man, right? Isn't he supposed to, is he supposed to, be on the left side and all that stuff? And he's supposed to be just, and the thing is you go to his channel, you go to LB's channel, he's just like anybody else that I run out to in most of the time out in the streets. He's a smart dude. He's common sense dude. He's, like I said, we see so much of that, just that leftist agenda stuff out there. And, so that's Young Ripper talks a lot about that kinds of stuff. And the one thing he talks about is we've got to do it like for people who aren't like that. Who, if you want to kind of get rid of that stigma in like social media, in the arts, and things like that, you have to do that through the arts, out in movies, out in music. And that's one of the things is he's in a band, so he has that out there. And ever since I've been watching his channel, it's made me want to get together with some of my old bandmates and stuff, and just some of my old friends, and make music again. Because I was like, damn, man, like shit, he's right. Because we gotta get, man, like, I've got 3 kids of my own, man, and I don't need somebody that is just wants to use them for votes or to just push propaganda or anything out there like that. And we've got to get out there, and we've got to get more involved in the arts and things like that too. And that's one thing that Young Ripples have been talking about a lot lately, and he talks about a lot, is we've got to get out there and get into get out there more, and to put a stop to the nonsense. And I 100% agree with that, because like I said, I grew up liking movies, watching movies, liking music, loving music, and all these things. And I always grew up, my parents always talked to us. We were good kids growing up. I had great parents. They spent time with us and things like that. And unfortunately, that's not the world we live in these days. A lot of parents don't have time for their kids, and when they, even when they're at home with their kids, they're not always there with their kids. And don't get me wrong, you don't always have to be there for your kids. Your kids need alone time too. They need time to do things. I get it. Because I'm sure sometimes you see some of those videos on Facebook. People are talking about like, oh, we spend too much time on our phones. Be with your kids in the moment with your families and stuff. Like, okay, like yeah. We're not all on social media that much all the time, okay? But yes, take time with your families too. But the thing is your kids are seeing this stuff too. So you've actually got to do something to go out there to combat those same messages that are out there, okay? Like you've got to, and the thing is you can't, you can't just argue the same way that they do. You've got to be smart about it. You got to be smart, because that's the thing. That's how you get people, is being able to be express things and be intelligent about them. So and the way is just like he was saying over there, through the arts, through getting into movies and music and things like that. And the thing is if you're not one of these people that are buying into the agenda and willing to push it, the chances are they're going to close the door on you. They don't want you there. And that's whether you completely agree with them or not. I mean, if you if you don't want to be in their in crowd, they will close the doors on you. So chances are you're gonna have to make your own way, and and that's just something that we've got to do. We've got to do, because like I said, there's so much. We all see the toxicity that's out there, permeating on social media. And is it ruining fandom? Yes, it is. It is in fact ruining fandom. And be it in the little ways, like changing up things like Sonic the Hedgehog, all the way to just like all these agendas being pushed in the movies. And like The Last Jedi is a perfect example of it. I think fans far and wide came across and let their discontent be known for that movie. And it looks like Disney learned their lesson and they are moving on from those mistakes. Okay, and let's get into more of the live chats here. Okay, and Fatal J says, Just a Rican, just subscribe to your channel. Fatal J, yes, you should go check out Just a Rican and his comics. Make sure you have your notifications turned on, guys. When you go to check out these channels, make sure you turn on your notifications, because, like I said, when some of it, you get the notifications when people are going live. Like when I'm going live, it sends you out the notification. Young Ripa 59, I've got notifications on for him. When he goes live, man, I've got to be there when his streams pop off live, because they're always good. Just a Rican and his comics, that's how I got into some of his live chats. Good stuff going on in there. When you go to your channels, like if you sub to a channel, you should turn on those, to hit those bell for those notifications, and then let them and their content decide whether you're going to keep the bell clicked or not. And I guess eventually maybe you might unsubscribe from them if you don't like their channel. But like I said, always click that bell, because you get those notifications so you can get in on some of those cool chats like that. Let's see. His channel looks cool. Yeah, he's got a cool channel. Talks a lot about comic books. Social media is the downfall of this country. It's just the downfall. I mean, it's something. It's a good thing, but the thing is a lot of people just react. And they react and they read too much into shit. They just read far too much into shit. And like you type something and somebody's mad. Like what? Like dude, like what are you mad for? Like I just typed a simple statement. I'm not being a dick, but you're being an asshole to me. You know what I mean? Like I said, even on that conversation the other day in Twitter, like I left a comment, and then somebody came in and like Liz, like right out the gate, just started name calling. You know what I mean? And this was somebody like that I wasn't even arguing against. Like my argument wasn't even against theirs. Like for the most part, I actually even agreed with them. But like just came out name calling, and I was just like, really? Like going for the emotional response, eh? It's like you're actually arguing like a leftist. You just come out name calling like that. Like isn't that the tool of the leftist? Just start name calling and shit like that. Like I don't know. At least have an argument. Because especially if we're on social media and we're doing it through text type, um, like you're not gonna get me upset, bro. Because I'm not reading into what you're saying, and I mean, somebody for telling me their opinion or whatnot. So I don't know. I don't know. Now, yeah, and then that's just the thing with the outright name calling. You're just looking for a knee jerk reaction out of me, and well, I'm sorry, you won't get it. And you won't get me worked up by that. Are you gonna tell me your mama's so fat joke and expect me to get mad? um, let's see. Fatal J says the worst thing. Yeah, it is. It is bad. LB says, "What up?" TK. Oh, welcome, TK. Yeah, TK. I think just seen you over. You were over on Young Ripa's channel tonight. Liked your Thor character study. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, you know what? That was actually one I really wanted to talk about, and I actually got some more like that I want to do. But I thought that was a good one because a lot of people were talking about Thor and his story arc in that movie, and like for me, like even the first time I watched Avengers Endgame, like the first like when he went up and chopped Thanos' head off right there, like that whole scene leading up to that, I knew something bad was getting ready to happen. I just didn't know what, and as soon as that happened, I was like, whoa, it blew me away. Like I was instantly sad for him right there, because like I knew, I knew that it wasn't good because like even you even seen Rocket looked up and he's like, what did you do? And the way Hemsworth just he trembled out these words. They just like the way they mumbled out. It was just like, it's like I can't even do that. Like I would have to get into the moment. But like the way he says, I went for the head. It's almost like he was about to lose his shit, man. Like he thinking about it, I mean, just makes me even kind of, I don't know, just like feel that for him because but yeah, he was about to lose it. And I really like that. I really like the story arc they did with him. And now, mind you, a lot of people didn't like it because people thought that he was used as basically just like how would you say the comedy basically just for comedy. He was the comic relief, and I don't think so. I think that just him bearing his feelings throughout the movie is uncomfortable for people, and maybe they thought it was funny, and really it wasn't, dude. Like this was a dude in pain, man. He lost everything. He lost everything. And again, thank you. Welcome, TK. Welcome to the channel. I hope to see you around more. And like I said, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about any other channel, any of the other videos. If you get a chance to check them out. Thank you. Thank you for coming here. LB says TK, it was good, and thank you, LB. Thank you. Just like Jonathan Kent told Clark in Superman the movie, you are here for a reason. Yeah, comics. Yeah, comics. Welcome. Here from Young Ripper 59. All right. Well, yeah, comics. Welcome to the channel. Thank you guys for being here. Yeah, and I mean, you guys know as well as I do, man. Young Ripper, man, dude, he's got a hell of a channel, man. That dude, like, if you guys were there on his chat earlier, man, I mean, people were there dropping those super chats. I was like, damn, like, dude, these people are. That's like seeing the super chats he was getting, man. Like that stuff's like super humbling, man. I'm sure it is for him as well. You could see his reaction on there. Like he was, man, he was like figuratively shitting his britches. Like holy shit. I mean that's got to feel good. I mean, because like I said, that only lets you know that people actually feel that passionate about his content and what he does over there. Like I said, I watched the John Campea show. You go over there, people send in super chats, and there's people in there. They send $100, $200, and things like that. But or $100, $50, $20 here, stuff like that. But like what I seen over there tonight, man, I'm just like, dude, that's what it's all about, man. Like that he's actually really out there doing what he likes doing and really being passionate about it. And there are certainly plenty of us out there that are passionate about what he does as well. And like I said, I support him on Patreon. I just started supporting him just over this last month, and he's got a really good channel out there over there. And he has been awesome enough and has given me a couple of shout outs before. And like today he did. I sent him in a super chat, and the thing is, I send him in super chats every now and again. I used to just do those just to say what's up, and send some of my favorite content creators some money, just the same as the other people do, supporting my favorite content creators. And then one day he was talking on his show about how actually supporting on the Patreon is better because he gets the money like right then, as opposed to at the end of the month, like when you do on YouTube. So I was like, oh, okay. So that's when I started making it over to Patreon to support him there. And yeah, because I feel the same way about his content. And like I said, I hope to get there to where he is one of these days. I hope to be able to provide that good of content for people to enjoy, and hopefully have a voice that is that good and that prominent here on YouTube or just any of the other platforms that I eventually get out to. Because I do eventually, and I started a Patreon recently myself. Because one of the things I actually been wanting to do is to start a website myself, and I'm not a rich man by any means. I've got three kids. I'm married. I got all the same things a lot of us have to do with life. You know what I mean? But I would like to start a website. And kind of the reason I wanted to start a website was because, if you were watching the silly video I was doing here earlier, was, a lot of people out there, there's people out there that have websites and they just write these stories, and like this one guy writes a story, and like it's like almost like hundreds of people take this one story and run with it. And it's like, dude, this is just like a guy. He's not even like, he don't work for the film industry. He knows some people that do, but like, and everybody just takes a story and runs with it. And that's kind of was getting more into comics and everything like that, and that's when I wanted to start being a little bit more serious. But then I was looking at all these at all these sites that are spreading all these like fake news. I mean, they're spreading just like this fake news. Like the channel We Got This Covered, man. Like their stuff is shit. You go to their website and you click on it, and it's nothing but ads. I was on my phone trying to go through the site, and they got it set up all tricky. Like all of a sudden, like I'm sitting there scrolling, and then all of a sudden I accidentally popped onto an ad. You know what I mean? And like, so I want to actually start a site eventually so I can start writing articles out there that are no BS articles, basically either talking about these same topics or maybe even out there debunking some of these things, because I've done a couple of videos here on my channel where I kind of got really passionate about debunking some of these silly theories that I see out there based off of one person on Twitter tweeting something, or one person on the internet writing an article. So, that's one of the things I hope to do in the future, is get a website or something out there just for things like that. Hopefully grow my voice. And yes, TK and Yeah Comics, welcome to the channel, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. I appreciate it. Like I said, if there's ever anything, input, let me know. I could always use input so I could improve my content. I would greatly appreciate that. So please leave comments. LB says, yeah, comics, what up? LB says, I'm black. TK just subbed to LB's channel. Yeah, LB is good. LB says, Rippa be giving the real. Yeah, man, Rippa, dude. He's great, man. He's a good channel. Vast majority of commentary and news. Yeah. I watched today is on independent YouTubers. Okay. Yeah, and that's what I've been watching more and more lately. Once I really got here into YouTube, I kind of noticed I've liked more of the smaller channels, more of the smaller content creators out there, and just what they're doing. A lot of them have better voices. A lot of them articulate things better, and a lot of them say more things. And like they're not actually scared to say some of the things that they maybe necessarily saying that they actually want to say. Because like I said, you go watch the John Campea show, he's not saying all the things that that he probably wants to say. Some of the things I think he holds back on, and sometimes he actually gets on there and says stuff, but he's, I wouldn't say a shill, but that he don't really want to 100% say and come out and just turn a whole bunch of people off for nothing. And I get that. Okay, fine. But that's, and that's why people go to Young Rippa's channel and they give him money like he was today, because he will go out there and say those things like that. And some people can't say those things. You know what I mean? And he puts himself out there to say those kinds of things. So, so some people kind of have their hands tied. And, like I said, I don't really. I don't have my hands tied by anybody. I don't even make money from this. So I say whatever the hell I want. But and at the same time, I also want to have content that can be viewed by a bunch of people. Like, it's, I can mark videos that are not age appropriate. So, but then, when you watch like one of my reviews, you're like, your kid could come here and watch this review. But, it's like that. But yeah, so again, welcome. But yeah, Rippa, he keeps it real, man. He keeps it real. Let's see. TK says, please do more of those. Good comics theory is greatly needed in today's discussions. Yeah, for real. Yeah. And I will. I'll do more of those videos, because, like I said, that was an interesting one for me. Getting in there, kind of trying to break it down a little bit. Kind of the psyche, because, like I said, a lot of people laugh about Fat Thor, but it's like, man, it's pretty tragic story he's got. And like I said in that video, the one I really want to do is Bucky Barnes, because Bucky Barnes is one hell of a character study. LB says, TK, I agree. TK says, we got this covered, ain't got shit covered. It should be called We Got These Shills. Yeah. Yeah, their content, like I said, I used to sub to a lot of these channels when I first got here on YouTube that did a lot of these videos, and a lot of those channels are what got me into creating content, because I was watching like Marvel. Like, what happened was my friend started sending me these Marvel theory videos, after Avengers Infinity War. And I started watching them, and I was watching a bunch of them, like, ooh, all these great theories, all right. And then I realized, like, dude, like, Most of these dudes are out there just getting on Reddit and just literally just reading Reddit posts over slideshows, right? Yeah. They're just reading, I mean, they're just reciting Reddit theories on YouTube with picture slideshows, and I was like, what, and then, but also along with that, I realized that I was listening to a lot of these theories, and I'm like, dude, like, okay, like, and some of the channels that I was like, one of the channels I still follow, he does that, but he actually adds commentary in about these theories. Then there was like these other guys, and I'm telling you, there's these couple of channels. They have got like the hugest followings, and they're doing. I mean, like I said, and I've talked about them before. They do um they do clickbait content for casual viewers, okay? And I go because I read these theories that they're reading, and they literally just recite them, and they don't toss in their own like commentary about these theories. Because I hear these theories, I'm like, dude, did you watch this movie? Like this is clearly covered in whatever, Captain America Civil War. Like they talked about that in this movie. Like, how is that a theory? Like this one scene in Captain America Civil War blows your theory to shit. And so I was watching a lot of these videos, and I'm just like, this is crap, man. And so eventually I just started laughing at these channels, and there was just like some of them out there, like I said, like We Got This Covered, Looper, and just like some of these other things. I'm like, dude, these guys, they're this content is garbage. Like, you're just like, the only people that you're really fooling are people who are just like casual fans, like my mom. Like, if my mom was on YouTube looking for this stuff, you might fool her, and she, I might be, if, because she's, like I said, she's a casual viewer. She'd be like, "Oh my god, did you hear that theory about this or that?" Like, that's something my mom would do. Like, nobody like I know would like hear these theories and be like, ooh, that's a good one. Like maybe a part of it or something. But yeah. So I started seeing all these sites and these pages here on YouTube, and there's all these, and then I started finding some of these websites that people have, and there's, I actually found a couple of bigger websites out there. Like, man, there's one of them. I can't. Comicbook.com. There, I thought they were actually a pretty legit source, and for the most part, I've seen a lot of that. I've seen them do a lot of articles that were very legit. But then I actually seen some of them one day when I was actually there poking around. I'm like, this article is complete clickbait. There's like the story. There's no substance to it. The story has no backing whatsoever. It's completely speculation, and and I'm just like, dude, like, I thought this was a reputable site, but apparently not. And that's one of the reasons I want to, that's one of the reasons I started my channel, was to debunk some of these theories and things like that. And so I eventually want to get a website so I can do those kinds of things, and make it and make it look, like more legit. So there's more, because like I said, a lot of people look at, I don't know. It's just how you grow a brand, I guess. Like I said, I don't know enough about it, but eventually, I'll get there. I'll eventually get there. And again, TK, that's good. We got these shills. He says, "Yeah, man, I'm 50, and if you told me when I was a kid we would see this Bucky Barnes on the silver screen, I'd call BS. It's staggering how he has developed." Yeah, you know what, TK, you might actually know what I'm talking about here, and this is actually one of my favorite scenes in the whole MCU, and is definitely actually one of these days I'm gonna see if I can get some other people to collaborate maybe with me on this Bucky video. But there's a scene in Captain America: Civil War, particularly that I think is so telling. Something that needed to be seen in a movie, especially in these movies, and needs to be seen by everybody, and it's a message that everybody needs to let sink in, okay? There's this scene towards the end of Civil War where it was right after the airport scene, when the Bucky said, he's like, you know what, Steve, he's like, all this trouble you're going through, he's like, I'm not sure that I'm worth all this trouble. And Steve turns to Bucky, and he goes, what you did all those years, all those people you killed. He said, it wasn't you. It was Hydra. Basically, Hydra, because Hydra basically brainwashed him. And the dude, I'm getting ready to get goosebumps just thinking about it. But you see Bucky there. He's sitting there talking to him. He goes, yeah, but I did it. And like every time I'm like, dude, like that's like he's taking personal responsibility for that stuff that he did, brainwashed by Hydra. He's still taking personal responsibility for it. He says, yeah, I did it. He says, yeah, but I did it. You know what I mean? Like, he, like, um, that's just moving stuff, man. And I say it's important to see something like that in these movies because that's something we don't typically get those kinds of messages in these movies. Taking personal responsibility. A lot of people these days, and that's kind of what we're talking about here here on the thing today, is people don't want to take personal responsibility when it comes to stuff that they have done. And why? Why is that? It's because everybody just gets let off the hook anyway, right? And you can just why take personal responsibility? You can just get a lawyer and get yourself off, and like it doesn't matter, like oh yeah, I went out there and like committed this crime and horribly just brutally murdered several people, and but I was crazy. I was on some medication and stuff. Um and just like the other stuff too. Like we even seen like with Roseanne Barr is a good example. She went out there and all her tweets. Like, okay, Roseanne, we know that's how you felt, and you're gonna go and try to blame it on drugs. You're gonna go try to blame it on your pills, your sleeping pills. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, just take some personal responsibility. If Bucky Barnes is willing to take personal responsibility for killing all these people, come on, you could take personal responsibility for being an asshole one time. I'm sure the world will forgive you. I'm sure more people will probably be mad that you actually tried to blame it on some pills. That's just it's just like I said, it's a message that needs to be seen out there in the world. Is at least people taking personal responsibility for the shit they do. Um, because far too many people get away with not taking personal responsibility for stuff. Um, yeah, sorry, I just went off on a little tangent there. LB says, Second Street Marvel, they fool my mom all the time. Yeah. Oh, they do, man. They do. Oh. That's the thing about those, and that's why I want to start a site. I want to start a website eventually, and I want to eventually get some people to maybe collaborate with me on that, because I know I can't go and run a website and do all the things that I want to do on it, and be able to do that all on my own. So I'd probably need collaborators for something like that. And LB, you're definitely one of those kind of dudes I would probably reach out to get some input on stuff like that. Certainly. TK says, yes, great scene, hones the character. Yeah, and it really does, man. Like that it was one of those kind of disappointing things. Like, when we seen like Avengers Endgame, when Sam is the one that gets handed the shield, and I'm not completely against that neither, because in the comic books that leads to some stuff that I would like to see happen on the big screen, but I don't necessarily know that it's gonna happen. But yeah, in that those scenes with Bucky, I mean, it was quite telling. And Sebastian Stan just does such a good job at just doing, I mean, delivering, just like delivering the lines, just like acting that part too, like being, looking like that badass, just doing all those things, and then still just like, man, I don't know, it was just great acting, you know what I mean? And again, that was a Russo brothers movie. I mean, they know how to get people and direct them, and in their movies, they know how to get the best out of their actors. I'm not sure if I've talked enough about this in the past, but like Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson's use in the MCU in a Russo brothers movie as compared to like Joss Whedon's Avengers. Like in the Joss Whedon Avengers, it seems like Black Widow is used more of like a not a sex symbol, but more of like a love interest of like for Bruce Banner or Steve Rogers and things like that. She's like just there to like flirt with him and be a love interest when and it's like, yeah, it's just she's not that, and then you see her in like the Russo brothers movies, like Captain America Civil War. You see her in Captain America uh, Winter Soldier, and then even in Infinity War, and so on. and she actually takes a more active role. She's a lot stronger character. They just do better things with her than Joss Whedon did in the first couple of Avengers movies. But that's going and comparing the Joss Whedon Avengers to the Russo's Avengers, and that's that's a different argument to be made there. It's like almost like night and day comparisons, really. But yeah, so in the end, like social media is ruining. It's a lot of fandoms, I think, and I mean, it's also helping too. It does help as well, but in a lot of ways, it's doing bad too. And I think the one thing is you know whether you like something or dislike something, I think the important thing is being able to come into a place like on social media and being able to express that in a way that doesn't just turn people away and is actually able to maybe get somebody's attention and bring them in and get them to listen to you and hear your point. And I'm not saying that that means that they have to agree with you. They can still agree with you. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing, which something I'll talk to else about before was, I was talking about this week with somebody else about agreeing to disagree. It's kind of a weak argument to make, and one of my friends was talking about that the other week here as well. Agreeing to disagree is kind of a weak argument because I mean it's because you want to agree on something. You don't have to agree on something. Agreeing to disagree is still disagreeing. It's okay to just disagree. You don't have to agree to disagree anything. You know what I mean? Just it's okay to take off the panties and put on your underwear and put on your pants, tighten your belt up, maybe take your nuts out of your wife's purse and just disagree with somebody because it's okay. It's okay to disagree. There's nothing wrong with it. So yeah, like I said, in the end, I think social media is ruining a lot of the fandom for a lot of people. For me, certainly, I mean, it ruins about anything. I mean, like communication and stuff. You try to have an intelligent conversation with somebody over on social media, and you just can't do it because people just start reading into your words and just start knee-jerk reacting to everything. It's like, whoa, back up here, friend. Like I just wrote a little statement, and you're triggered over nothing, man. Like. Let's just back it up. That's all I really have for today, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel today. Now, I did recently just break 200 subscribers, so in case you all didn't know, I am doing a giveaway for a digital copy of Warner Brothers Aquaman, and to get entered into that, I will announce the winner next Friday on the Trailer Park Live here. So that gives about everybody another week, any of the new subscribers or anything, another week here to go back and watch any videos, leave a comment in any of the videos to get entered into the giveaway for the digital copy of Warner Brothers Aquaman. And please like I said, please make sure you're subscribed. Click the little bell so you get notifications anytime I've uploaded new content, and you get those notifications sent out anytime I plan on doing a live video. And again, the Trailer Park News or the Trailer Park Live here on Fridays would be nothing without you all. It has been growing here over the past few weeks. Thank you all so much for tuning in for that. Like I said, it really does help grow the channel. Your input helps me know what to do better. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate every single one of you guys being here. Again, thank you all so much. Have a good night. Have a great weekend, and we will definitely see you all on Monday for sure. We'll see you next time. Bye.